distinct language, creed, or culture of its own shall have the right to conserve the same. Number two, subclause 2, no citizen shall be denied admission into any educational institution maintained by the state or receiving aid out of state funds for on grounds only of religion, race, caste, language, or any of them. Now, Article 30, it's a big one. It talks about right of minorities to establish and administer educational institutions. All minorities, whether based on religious or language, shall have the right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. Then we come to subclause 1A. In making any law providing for the compulsory acquisition of any property of an educational institution established and administered by a minority, so and so. And then subclause 2, the state shall not, in granting aid to educational institutions, discriminate against any educational institution on the ground that it is under the management of a minority, whether based on religion or language. Now, why I am trying to bring a corollary, like the minorities, there are indigenous people living in different parts of North in Assam, Northeast India, India, and across the globe. Now, talking in terms of India, the constitution, what I prefer, that there should be one article that protects the rights of the indigenous people as far as their traditional knowledge is concerned, like minorities as far as their educational cultural rights are concerned. So that is being the corollary. There should be one article for that. Like the minorities in Northeast India, the minorities across the country, they are prone their traditional knowledge, their indigenous knowledge, and which can later on be a geographical indication. Although most of the most of the traditional knowledge will not be qualifying for the geographical indication, but they're prone to exploitation. How? By various international medical companies, medicine companies. They can come to India as a tourist, and any sample for a particular disease collected can be tested in a laboratory, and there can be and the medicine can be made out of that. It will take a very few days time to make it to make it in a laboratory, and then patent it, and then billion-dollar business, maybe $1,000 billion business across the globe. That is how we are in a risky in absence of a proper legislation for the legislation for the protection of indigenous knowledge and the traditional knowledge. We had of late the geographical indication. We have of late integrated circuit layout design legislation across the globe. In India, we have it, integrated circuit layout designs act. We have now traditional knowledge being in the public knowledge. There is a concept called prior art. So it comes under the prior art. So traditional knowledge cannot be qualified for the protection under the various aspects of the intellectual property, because it is already a prior art, because it is already in the public domain. We cannot have it, but we have to protect it. How? My idea would be to have a umbrella legislation like intellectual property, where like when we can call it that the traditional knowledge and then we go for the classification of it, where we can find traditional knowledge, like we say patent is, yes, it's intellectual property. We say traditional knowledge, it's a we say trademark, intellectual property. Like that, there can be one umbrella called traditional knowledge of the indigenous people, and then we can go for the classification of it. How we classify it? We can say copyright of we may or may not use. It depends on the legislators. Now we can see that the music, traditional music, that is also a traditional knowledge. Then folklore, folk stories, those can be, this can be a kind of there can be kind of copyright for those. There can be patent kind of traditional knowledge where we can say yes, this is eligible for, this is a kind of traditional knowledge, medicinal knowledge, where should be similar, where there should be similar legislation at par with the patents. We cannot get the patents for the traditional knowledge which is already in the in the prior art. That is why the importance of new legislation for the protection of the various classification that we can have under the umbrella called traditional knowledge, or the indigenous knowledge. This already I have covered, that the indigenous people are living across India in small pockets in almost every state in India. Traditional knowledge and indigenous knowledge belongs to indigenous people. That is what we should keep in mind for the protection of traditional knowledge. And TK and IK in relation to indigenous people, a kind of universal all over the country and all over the world as well. In India and across the globe, there is strong opinion for human rights to traditional knowledge of the indigenous peoples or the tribal peoples. It is more important in India as every state of India houses indigenous people, and Northeast India houses most of the indigenous peoples, and they are the owners of indigenous knowledge. So we need to keep in mind indigenous knowledge is clubbed under the same category of knowledge that is called traditional knowledge. So now, what we can have, we do not have, if we have, say, we talk about human rights. So we have a Human Rights Act prevailing in India. And similarly, there are fundamental rights that is being, that is under under the Constitution of India. Then we have, if we talk about human rights, then we have Article 21. So we can have, when there is something, there is something in the Constitution of India in the form of an article, Article 21. It talks basically about the human rights. So we have a Human Rights Act. We have articles for respect of international legislations, international obligations. So we have various Geneva Conventions pertaining to different fields, but we don't have an article on the in line with the traditional knowledge of the indigenous people. So we don't have a legislation legislation on that, because we have Article 29 and 30 covering the minorities for the educational and cultural rights. We have a Protection of Minorities Act, or various Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Act for that matter, because of Article 29 and 29 and 30. So for the minorities, we have that. But the framers of the Constitution of India, I won't say with due apologies to the framers of Constitution of India, I dare to say that there was no importance given that for the indigenous knowledge of the traditional traditional knowledge. So in the same line with Article 29 and 30, which we can tell that Article 29 subclause 2 or subclause 2, where we can talk about, where we can find a headline that that the traditional knowledge of the rights of the indigenous people regarding as regards their traditional knowledge. And in a similar manner, we can have on the Constitution of India a fundamental right, because these indigenous people are all also the indigenous, I can use the term indigenous minorities across the country. So we can have similar articles in the same line for insertion in the Constitution of India. My presentation is not delving much into the connotation and denotations about the traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge, and geographical indication. Entire presentation that what I want to bring in is that the importance of having indigenous knowledge of traditional people in the Constitution of India. I could have gone through the definition aspects, discussing the various legislations regarding various intellectual property, various traditional knowledge, but my importance being, my stress being on insertion of a new article in the Constitution of India. I expect that today's participants will understand we will understand the importance of insertion of a new article regarding the traditional knowledge, and they will take it to their own states, their own places, where they can see the importance of protection of traditional knowledge. At the same time, like the Constitution of India talks about the protection through the state funding of the indigenous of the minorities and their various and the various things are being suggested for using state funding for the protection of minorities educational and cultural rights. What we can have similar funding, or we can have a legislation, maybe it can be called Protection of Traditional Knowledge Act, maybe in 2020. I may be very optimistic, and maybe in 2001, 2022. So I am expecting a legislation to come up, and participants will take this message to the entire country in their own places. And if not through the state funding, we can see there are discussions regarding creation of trust in the name of various indigenous people. We can think about a legislation which talks about creation of trust, taking some indigenous people as well as the administrative officers from the government in the trust, for the development of the trust, out of the incomes that can be generated from the from the traditional knowledge, and for the sales out of traditional knowledge or the indigenous knowledge. With this, I conclude my presentation, and I'd like to I'd like to see any questions which I can reply. Prasenjit.
Unmute kalam kau. Unmute kalam.
Is there any questions? Can I reply any questions that I can have?
One of the queries, Nilotpal sir, a very good presentation indeed. One of the questions I see is to have a reflection on TK Bill 2016.
Yeah. Yeah, TK bill, yes, TK bill 2016 is there, but as of now, we don't see the legislation coming up. And my stress is, Professor Sir, my stress is on first. Let us have one article in the Constitution of India, and then it will open up all. It will open up everything for a legislation for the TK bill.
No. See, the query is to have a reflection what is laid down in the what is proposed in the bill.
Yeah.
The participant wants to know.
Yes.
The details, salient features of that particular bill.
Can you repeat? I cannot. It's not audible for me.
The salient features of the particular TK bill 2016.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Some of the important features kindly highlight.
Yeah. The important features they can that I can see it in the TK bill. Yes, there are proposals are being made in the TK bill for the creation of trust, that then the government level and the administrative level that is being there, and then the sharing of the traditional knowledge, how to share it, because as there are prior arts. The sharing is made important here while proposing as far as the proposals are concerned. This is basically the substance of that. But regarding the administering part in the TK bill, I have a little bit of confusion, little bit of doubt regarding the administering part of it, because what the TK bill suggests is not including not including much of the people from the indigenous people we can talk about, because of their education level is not that high. But equally in the TK bill, what it should be, that there should be one clause, one section for the education part of the indigenous people, and at the same time they should be educated regarding their regarding what is intellectual property, how it can be developed in them. The education part is missing in the TK bill. That is what should be one of the features of the TK bill.
Yeah, Preeta, you may take over. And Harish sir may also try to intervene. Good morning, Harish sir. Have an interaction with. No, please unmute yourself first and then.
Nilotpur sir.
Yeah.
I think I heard some.
Are we beginning with the interactive session now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Then I will ask the participants to put forward their questions.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I think I heard something about the will. I think no.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
didn't get that full point. If you could, for our convenience sake, kindly let me know, sir. What is that? I heard some word will when I just joined into this thing. I didn't get that part.
I was talking because there's another question regarding the proposed TK bill 2016.
Oh, okay.
That was the question.
Okay.
Bill. Yeah, bill.
The bill, not the will.
So
okay,
I was. It's not the will. It's the
I
bill.
heard about I heard it as a will, because will also today, I think since by default I heard the word as will instead of bill. I think so today I have been doing a lot of registration of wills in which we are adding all these digital assets of the owners also, because this is some part where people are not including it into their will, which is their last testament of their life. My suggestion is when people execute a will, it is better that they also declare their digital assets, their hard disks, storage disks, or their data which or software developed by them, or the artwork developed by them. And like when Roerich, the famous Russian painter who died in Bangalore, who was married to Devika Rani, the film actress, is their entire assets is taken over by the Chitrakala Parishad. There was a big dispute regarding the will executed, and some other people were involved in fraudulent activities in getting the will done. And a lot of these artworks were not part of it in some of these things. So government took over this finally and gave it to the Chitrakala Parishad. I have seen a lot of in my personal experience, digital data is never found a place in the wills executed by people. Okay, they only write their car, they write their assets of immovable property, and they forget some of the movable assets also, including, I am telling people to even write in their will that they had an LPG in their name, this LPG should be transferred to so and so. Otherwise, in our country, it's a Herculean task. Getting anything transferred into the name of the legatee is a big task in this country. Okay, and a lot of wills are being disputed on these grounds because some of things have been left out and no residual clause is mentioned, that notwithstanding anything not mentioned left out in this will, that shall go to so and so. I think digital data, digital software data should also be, and geographical indexation or trademark registered, whatever is there, should also be a part of these wills, I think so.
Yeah, like I'm really grateful to you for enlightening me in this area, and at the same time, that I have skipped in my presentation that regarding the digitization of the traditional knowledge, we already have. Regarding the traditional knowledge, we already have a traditional knowledge digital library, and that is being done in cooperation with the government of India, and that is being saved in the World Intellectual Property Organization. That is, the digitization is done. But today, what we are talking about, digitization will not be enough. We need to have the proper legislation for the proper protection of the traditional knowledge. Yeah, but I'm really enlightened for the yes. I'm really enlightened for that.
The data protection bill is now before the committee.
Right.
The data protection bill is before the joint parliamentary committee. It is constituted by the thing, and they're yet to submit their final report on this.
True.
Data protection. See, I have another point to be mentioned here at this juncture. See, all sting operations done by media houses, okay, sting operations done by media houses, the data in their possession, which is clandestinely obtained in a sting operation, okay, that data, who is going to be the custodian in this country? See, all other data protection law may cover, but sting operations by media houses, by any other authority, who is going to hold these data as where will they give this data finally? After the sting operation, somebody should be the custodian of it. Otherwise, that sting operation data can be used for exploiting, making ulterior gains from the people who are subjected to the sting operation. Perennially also, which you see in cyber stalking, in crimes, in cyber crimes, you see a lot of people, pornographic videos being photographed at gunpoint and of girls and things, and then being blackmailed and this. So this data storage, see, under the IT Act now, there is a provision where the government can put up an agency under Section 69 and to go in and take over that storage disk from the houses also. The storage disk includes your external hard disk, includes your computer, laptop also can be taken away, like what you see in IT raids and search and seizure, where they take away all your things because storage devices, because they may contain some valuable data for them. That is why.
Yeah. So data storage can be, as a cyber lawyer, I can say, like I have to be very religious as a lawyer. So as a religious lawyer, what I would say, the custodian of that, if I give a legal opinion, it has to be with the government, and
Yeah.
legislation should be made. Otherwise, it will not go to the government.
See,
In that
yeah,
case.
in the absence of the present scenario where there's no legislation, all the
True.
sting operation data I see with the media houses, sir. Still.
Yeah.
See, we need to have a Data Protection Council of India is the
Yeah.
body under which these data should be actually stored.
True. And when it is the custodian for the sting operation, custodians are at present the media houses.
Yes.
But something has to be done with the in cooperation with the Press Council of India.
Exactly.
So Press Council of India has to be consulted by the government of India. What can be done, and probably I'm not aware about that. Probably there is a committee for this.
And even the Broadcasting Corporation of India, Prasar Bharati Broadcasting Corporation of India is there. They also need to step in to see that these things are not left to lie idle with the media houses. Once it is over, that should become the property of the state. Otherwise, yes, perennial exploitation can happen on all these data.
True. Very true. So thank you very much, sir, for enlightening me.
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure. Sorry, I came in late. I had some will registration to be done. That's why.
It's okay. Sir. Thank you.
Nilotpal sir.
Yeah.
Sir, Harish sir is an advocate and also guest faculty in various institutions.
Okay.
He's an advocate, senior advocate based in Bangalore.
Yeah.
So sir
had
been, yeah, sir, like we did not invite, unfortunately we couldn't invite sir as speaker, but he is doing his tremendous job and helping all of us to understand the wider aspects of it, sir. So Harish sir, thank you again for joining us.
Pleasure, madam. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. We'll see you again, sir.
Sure, sir. Finally, I met you in the last minute at least. That's a great thing. I always believe in one thing, sir. Little is much when God is in it. So even little contribution at the end stage is worth the contribution in life.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure meeting you, sir.
Sir, there are many questions, Nilotpal sir.
Yeah.
So
how?
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's one question from Dulumoni Boyso.
Yeah.
Sir, TK and IK is the universal. What does it mean?
What I say, TK and IK, that is universal in India. What I mean to say is that TK and IK we can see in all parts of the country. TK and IK. We can see TK and IK any part of the country. Maybe the small pockets like minorities. That is a universal concept. Like the minorities is a universal concept. We can have those minorities, small pockets in the entire country and in the entire world, in small pockets in various countries, in various states. That is why I said TK and IK, as far as the indigenous peoples are concerned, that is universal in India. That is universal across the globe. That is what I meant by that. Yes, Preeta?
Yes, sir. I hope the question is clear to Dulumoni Boyso. Okay, so we have next questions. Sir, are there any specific criteria for categorization of a community as indigenous community? Specific criteria for categorization of a community?
No, as of now, we don't have. The world doesn't have, because the entire world is not agreeing to the fact that there should be definition, and although there is some definition regarding the word indigenous, and regarding the two words, indigenous people. There are some definitions about that. In India, we are yet to arrive at a definition of regarding indigenous or indigenous peoples. So that is why the criteria for categorizing a community as indigenous, that is not in place as of now.
Okay. So as of now, there is no categorization.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So I hope the answer is clear to Arijit
Maybe
Kundu.
Peter, I'd like to state something
Yes.
regarding categorizing indigenous people. Maybe Justice Biplab Kumar Sharma committee in Assam, if they have submitted a report regarding who is indigenous Assamese. The report is yet to come out. It is submitted to the government of Assam, and then government of Assam. We people are not sure whether it is submitted to the Prime Minister of India, to the government of India. We are not sure about it. Government is not vocal about it, not clear about it. If it comes to the public, what who actually indigenous Assam is, probably in that case will be able, in future will be able to categorize who is indigenous, who is not indigenous. Thank you
Okay.
very much. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sir, Vipul Sharma committee.
Biplab Sharma.
Justice Biplab
Biplab
Sharma.
Biplab Sharma's committee.
Vipul Sharma committee. Okay, sir.
Sir, I hope so. The word indigenous is itself a confusing word because everyone have a different definition regarding the word indigenous.
True, because the places are different,
Yes,
their
sir.
culture is different, so it is very difficult. Like we have one a convention on human rights in America. We have convention on human rights in Europe, in Africa, but in Asia we don't have a human rights convention because we have various caste, creed, and culture, and people are not able to agree on the matter. We don't have
Yes, sir.
Asian convention on human rights. Like that, what we were saying, the indigenous,
Yes, sir.
same thing applies. Because of that, we don't have an agreement on the word indigenous or indigenous people. Yes, Peter, any question? Any more questions?
There are many, sir.
Yeah.
There are many other. One question from Dr. Pranay Kumar Aditya.
Yeah.
Like digital library, responsibility of central and state authorities to register traditional knowledge.
We have committees in northeastern states as well for the digitization of the traditional knowledge, but that is not done dedicatedly. Otherwise, we have some books where we find big thick books on the traditional knowledge, but digitization and making it the public domain, state-wise or place-wise, or in our entire country, it not done dedicatedly. Otherwise, also we have one traditional knowledge digital library with the World Intellectual Property Organization, and those digital library, that digital library, when it is being maintained, there is no classification. There is no classification made of the traditional knowledge that we have in India or in any parts of the world. No classification is made of the traditional knowledge. So digitization will come up, but for that matter, if we want to work dedicatedly in that area, the one act has to come up, and as a forerunner of that probable legislation in future, we should first have an article legitimizing the indigenous people and indigenous people as regards the traditional knowledge. But again, the problem arises: who are indigenous people in India? The definition will obviously differ in every state of India. So government has to take up good legislations for making the definition of indigenous people.
Okay. Sir, there are other questions. Chandita Sharma, from Chandita Sharma. Some GI may stand independent of traditional knowledge and indigenous knowledge. Sir, can you please give an example or better understanding? I repeat.
I don't know. I don't know when. Yeah. Repeat. Yes.
Some GI may stand independent of TK and IK.
Yes.
So could you please give an example or better understanding?
For that matter, the Darjeeling tea. Darjeeling tea, earlier we had a trademark kind of thing. Now that is a GI, Darjeeling tea. We don't have any traditional knowledge background to that. We don't have any, and for that matter, in Assam, we're trying to have Assam tea as a GI, but we are unable to do it uh, because this is something that is the Britishers had found it out. It cannot be a traditional knowledge. It cannot be a indigenous knowledge. But as far as the GI is concerned, this will be an independent kind of GI if Assam tea can be made independent of traditional knowledge, independent of indigenous knowledge.
Okay.
And any other example for GI for that matter can be um, that we don't have exactly that, but most of the GIs will be having some kind of indigenous or traditional knowledge link.
Backbite.
Most of the GIs, if it has to be of when we talk about the traditional when we talk about the GIs, what is important is when we produce it, the place of origin, the qualities belong to that place of origin.
Like the Nagpur orange, sir?
Yes.
Like the Nagpur oranges?
Yeah, Nagpur oranges. Yes.
Alfonso. Alfonso.
Alfonso mango, yes. So those have geographical indications, but they do not fall under TK and IK, isn't it, sir?
Yes. True.
So I hope the query is clear to Chandita Sharma.
There is some question on 19.1D, Article 19.1G, something is popping up. Just see.
So we are going one by one.
Okay.
So Harisha, you may patient if you have any other extra information.
No issue. Thank you so much.
Harisha, you were saying something.
There's some. I saw some query on 19.1, Article 19.1D and 19.1G. Some Deepabali Brahma. Sir, when we talk about geographical indication in IP, how Article 19.1D and 19.1G and taxation on or tax law is going to play a role? There is a query somebody has raised.
To be frank enough, I'm not a tax expert in this regard, so I will not be taking the question for my reply.
No,
if it is
on 19.1D and G also, I don't understand why this query has been come on 19.1D and G. D is a right to move through the territory of India. And
right.
19.1G is to practice any profession, trade, commerce.
True.
You as it is, you all have, everybody has that right to practice any profession. And I am unable to understand what is it got to do with geographical indication in IP law. 19.1D is a free movement through the territory of India. GI can move around anywhere in the world also.
True. The question maybe Deepabali Brahmas is not able to put it in a correct frame.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe
in the end, we shall give her a chance to interact with you.
Sure. 19.1D, she can.
Sir, next question from Shruti Basmutari.
Yeah.
Speaker sir, under which intellectual property does indigenous knowledge fall?
No, the indigenous knowledge doesn't fall under the intellectual property. It doesn't come under that. That is the importance of tradition. That is why the importance of traditional knowledge. Because there is no legislation they accepted by entire world, except by entire India, there is no legislation regarding traditional knowledge. That is why it cannot be clubbed under the umbrella called intellectual property.
Shruti, are you clear? Because sir says that unlike Patent Act, Copyright Act, unlike all these, the indigenous knowledge, like any other in the world doesn't have a legislation yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so it categorically may not fall under intellectual property, but however, geographical indication is a result of human intellect, and that have been practiced since many ages from our
Sure.
past
Sure.
generation.
Yeah,
Isn't it, sir?
Yeah. Yes. Then I can see, Prita, I can see one question. If GI is given to a particular product item is not renewed for 10 years as given at a different body. These questions I would not like to reply this question, because what we are, our topic is different today, because it will take me lots of maybe few hours to reply it. The question is not to the subject concerned we are discussing today.
Okay, sir. We'll go to next question, sir.
Yeah.
From Supriti Hazarika. No. This is not a question. This is a thank you for you, sir.
Rita ma'am, it's from Anjali Datta Brahma.
Okay.
Yeah.
The question is that can you please explain once more about the relationship between IK and TK?
IK and TK.
Relationship.
TK is a wider concept than the IK. Indigenous knowledge, that comes that may be centuries old, but TK can be centuries old, as well as TK can be developed in a span of 100 years, of 100 years, 200 years. TK can be developed. So all indigenous knowledge are traditional knowledge, but all traditional knowledge may not be indigenous. That is the difference between traditional knowledge and indigenous knowledge.
Okay. The next from Arijit. No, that we are done. From Linjoti Bora. Except GI Act, thus traditional knowledge will get protection under any other IPR law, such as patent, trade secrets, etc.
I think that aspect
Sir? Nilotpal sir? Sir,
please unmute yourself.
See, and under the Patents Act, protection is there for traditional knowledge, but not under the IPR thing. It has got traditional knowledge protection under Section 25 and Section 64 of the Patents Act.
Sir, are you audible?
Yeah. You're able to hear?
I can hear you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, I can hear. So regarding this protection of traditional knowledge under the Patent Act will be a difficulty, because the traditional knowledge is already in the public domain. That is a prior art. No prior art can have the patent. So there will be a difficulty in traditional knowledge having as a patent registration.
No.
But those prior art has been in the WIPO Intellectual Property Organization. We have a digital library, as Harish sir has is very much vocal about the digitization. So if I talk about that, we already have it. Prior art cannot come under the patent registration.
See, under copyright section 31A provides protection to unpublished articles and things like that. Under copyrights section 31A, okay, provides protection to unpublished Indian work and things like that. That is one way of giving protection. Under section 25 and 64 of patents law, you have a right to revoke the patent. That is a protection. Right to revoke also is a protection.
True.
It's an indirect protection, though it is not a direct protection. Right to revocation is an indirect protection under section 25 and 64 of the patents law.
True. That is why the revocation can be done. That is why the case of the basmati, haldi, all those in the US patenting. So that is why that happened.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Granting
Peter, any
permission
other
is one way of protection. Granting permission under any law is one protection. Continue to see that they maintain that permission and is another protection. By revoking somebody else trying to interfere with your thing is a protection. Indirect protection under the patent.
That is absolutely
correct, no, sir? I hope you agree.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Prasenjit, will you go through
I
other
cannot,
questions or should I continue?
No, we both can continue. No issue with it.
Okay.
So a question from Dr. Mosumi Kalita. What is the difference between geographical indication and indication of source? Dekha sir, are you hearing me? Am I audible to you? So am I audible to you? So please unmute yourself. Yes, sir. Now you're audible.
Mosumi Kalita, the question.
What is the difference between geographical indication and an indication of source?
Indication.
You see, indication of source is the source code. Source code. See, all your Paytm, ATM, all these social platforms through which you pay, UPI, all these things, they're all part coming under the source code. Indication of source code. You may have to share. Suppose a Swiggy platform you engage as a partner through which you will like to deliver your food packages and things like that. Then the consumer pays through some online platform. Okay, there is a source code for that. Okay, that is that source code which will be shared by this food operator with Swiggy. Okay, so that Swiggy will deduct what is his service charge and see the remaining comes to the food operator. Okay, so this is that source code under the software law. There is a source code. Codification is done in software industry.
Harissa, probably the question is, what is the difference between geographical indication and the source?
Indication of source.
Yeah.
I don't know which source is it the source code area which he's talking, or what is the source?
Is probably not the source code area. What does she means to say? Probably what I can understand is geographical indication. Okay, it is coming from a particular place. Now
from where it is originating. From where it is originating.
Source. The source is something.
Location.
Location. So what
geographical
is
location?
Yes. Geographical location.
There will territorial location.
Yeah. The source. The source is the basic of geographical indication. I'd like to see participants' views in this regard, because this is a question probably she has studied somewhere. So that is why I'd like to see the participants' views, if there is any way that I can connect to the participant.
Okay, sir. Definitely we can help you out, sir. The question
the source is the basic of geographical indication.
I'm unmuting it so that she can give a question directly.
Mosumi Kalita, you are unmute. Please unmute yourself and ask direct question to the speaker and Harish sir. Mosumi Kalita.
I'm unmuting her. Okay. You can unmute yourself as well as enable your camera.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, we are not seeing you actually, ma'am.
Oh, actually, it is not working. Maybe some
Okay, no
network
problem, no
problem.
issue.
Okay.
No issue.
I am telling. Actually, I got this question earlier only. Means I have attended one seminar at that is Assam University, Bansar, Diffu.
Okay.
So there one
Yeah.
question raised regarding it, like there means in Karbi Anglong, there ginger is having their geographical indication. So one of the that is presenter, he asked this question. Means he was asked by some listeners about this question, and he was unable to give the actual answer of it, and that is why in Google also I have searched, but actually I did not get satisfaction by the answer of the Google. So I want to make it clear by Sir only. That is the main reason of it.
Yeah. Mosme,
Hello.
I take a question.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Dr. Mosme.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah, I
sir.
take your question. So the source.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Dekha sir and Harish sir, I think so you both can hear the question,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Nilutpal sir is muted. Sir,
No
please
problem.
unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Hello. Good morning,
Nilotpal
sir.
are you going to answer?
Yeah, Dr. Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah,
just
please go ahead, sir. Please
for
go
a
ahead. Please
discussion.
go ahead, sir.
Yes. Yeah, like what is the difference between source and the geographical indication?
Yes, sir.
For
Yes, sir.
knowledge, for all indigenous knowledge, yeah,
Yes.
and for geographical there will be sources. But which source will be qualified as a indigenous knowledge? Which source will be qualified as a traditional knowledge? And which source will be qualified as geographical importance? That will be the topic discussion when we go for a recognition of the same. Source is a source.
Yes, sir.
This is the
See, apart from geographical indication, there is also geographical area codes available based on geographical location. Okay, so they are also called GAC code, GAC, that is geographical area codes. I don't know whether what that question was asked by somebody in that seminar was unanswered. Probably because there's some confusion between understanding geographical just source or geographical source code. Third, in software you have a source code, that's a different software source code. But in geographical also, area location, you have a GAC, geographical area code also. Probably that area code can be connected to the GI of the particular thing so that it knows from where the origin is coming. Isn't it, sir? Able to hear?
yeah. I can hear you, sir. I don't know participant Dr. Mosumi whether she can hear it or not.
No, she's yeah, she can now hear, I think. So she's
She's hearing it,
she's hearing it.
but actually due to some network disturbances, and I have muted her.
Oh yeah, I know, I saw that.
Okay.
Dr.
So
Mosami,
that is
go ahead, sir.
yeah.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, sir.
actually,
Yes,
I missed
I am
your
listening, sir. I am listening.
Ma'am, are you happy with the answer?
Yes, of course, I am happy. Actually, this is a means this conception is quite it's not clear to all. Actually, in Google also some reply has been given. I am not got that exact meaning of it. That's why I asked that question. It's okay, sir.
Ma'am, any other further query?
No, thank you.
Peter, please unmute her.
Yeah, sure.
So I think so we have already discussed this question. Actually, I forgot. Please give some examples of IK and TK. As you said, IK is included in TK, but all TK are not IK.
Question is already answered previously, sir.
Yes. I'm actually confused. That is why I have putting this.
Like examples of IK and TK.
Okay. So there is a
Peter can
sir opinion.
Peter can give the examples.
No,
She
no.
have already given it. She have already given it, sir. So there is a not suggestion. It's an point raised by Dr. Pranay Kumar Aditya. It's not a question. The bill in public domain, but the sir, the bill is in public domain, but the responsibility of the government to tap the traditional knowledge is hardly found as a concern.
True. But that is very important. If when the government of India is talking about, I will not say Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I will say government of India is talking about local for vocal for local. That is the issue. But when we are vocal for local, traditional knowledge and indigenous knowledge will comes in make its appearance first. So that is a very timely statement by Dr. Aditya.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it
Dr.
Dr.
Aditya.
Aditya?
Yeah, Dr. Aditya.
Yeah, it's a very timely comment. I appreciate.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Prita and Prasenjit, any other questions left?
Yeah, there are many.
Yes, sir. There are many questions. So the question is that can
If
existing IP law provide protection for traditional knowledge and traditional cultural expression? So I'm repeating it once again. Can existing IP law provide protection for traditional knowledge and traditional cultural expression?
that we don't have under the existing IPL laws. We don't have that protection. For proper protection, that is why I've been talking about that we should have one legislation for the protection of that. The existing IPR legislations cannot protect the traditional knowledge.
We told
Professor
that
Harish
they're
sir,
only in patent law and the copyright law. We told them
yes,
mentioned them. That's the only two protection modes.
I understand that.
Okay, ma'am. Sir, actually, she has been teaching IPR law for quite many years, and that is why she is putting a question to you.
That's good, good. We need to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, can you please enlighten us about traditional knowledge digital library? What we say, what all kind of knowledges can be put into in that digital library? What all types of things?
Yeah, in that the WIPO digital library that is done in collaboration with Government of India, and in that you will find the it is not the registration. It is not a traditional knowledge registration, but it is just to include some kind of if you have any traditional knowledge in your hand, there is a particular online form you can submit it online that this is the traditional knowledge here, and then there is an online process where in fact the WIPO can check whether that is already been stated earlier or not, and that is in public domain and everyone can see this digital library. And when it is in public domain, that bars the registration of those traditional knowledge as which is already in the public the domain, that which has been already published, that cannot be again patented, can again we have geographical indication, and again we can have any kind of trademark or whatsoever. Professor Harish sir has said that there is some kind of protection being given in the patents law.
Section 25 and 64.
But that is subject. Yes, and that is subject to publication or non-publication of those invention or the geographical
unpublished artwork in India, unpublished works in India.
Works in India. But if again that is subject to whether whether that will last for a long time or not, because there can be opposition to such kind of patterns. So WIPO digital library, as Peter wanted to know, you can go online to the WIPO. You can see there will be digital library for the traditional knowledge.
Yes. Yes,
See,
sir.
when Dr. Moshami was asking on that indication source, see, even in digital library, if I'm not wrong, there will be bibliographic codes, source codes for bibliography and things like that.
Yeah, it is there. It is there.
So is that indication source which he was talking in geographic area codes, words, and local source codes in the library, local source code in a digital library, which may include bibliographic codes also. Bibliographics are
Yes.
stored through a codification.
There is a search option, and we can go about it, and we can see from which country, from which area, from that is being originated. That is there.
Sir,
From
does the traditional knowledge digital library only includes particular subject matter, or it also involves, like for example, in Assam we have Bihu Gamosa, for Boro traditional we have Aronai. So all those the process or the thing, can it be the end product, can that also be included in the traditional knowledge digital library, or only like few subject matter can be included?
A traditional knowledge that will come as a that is Gamusa is a sort of tradition, I'll say. And then this Gamusa in Bihar it will be different, in Maharashtra it will be different, in other states this Gamusa will be coming up in different names. So it is the knowledge is something, this is spinning about the spinning about the gamusa, spinning how we spin it. That knowledge we already have, and regarding spinning we have patterns in a different area. Regarding spinning from that coming up from the tradition, it is prevalent everywhere. And when we are not able, we are able to have muga silk, because it is having some technological innovations, as well as the from since centuries we have it regarding the muga silk. But regarding gamusa, I'll say this kind of cotton thick yarn we can find anywhere in the country, and disilbi is more or less as a culture. We cannot we cannot say gamusa as a traditional knowledge. That is, but yes, if we can see gamusa is in our folk culture, that as a folklore to some extent. For I mean the folk literature, we can include it as that. We can probably include it as a traditional knowledge. But as far as the spinning of the yarn is concerned, it will not be classified as a traditional knowledge. It is a tradition. It is a culture. It is not knowledge. Spinning of the yarn, it is in public domain. We know about it. And spinning in entire country more or less is the same.
Okay, sir. Sir, thank you.
Yeah.
This was my personal doubt.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
A question from Punjalata Brahma ma'am. If GI given to a particular product or item is not renewed after 10 years as given, and a different body or community seeks for GI for the same product in a different area, will GI be allotted to the second applicant?
Prasenjit, this question I had seen myself in the chat box, and Preeta also has once told me about this question. But I'll not be taking this question because lots of legal aspects are associated with this. Her question is related to GI. GI is not our like, I mean, for the registration and all the legal formalities are not the topic of discussion today. And I can reply her regarding this. But the thing is that GI registration, it will involve a lot of things. If it is not renewed for the 10 years, then the second applicant comes in. There are lots of legal issues involved in this. That under what circumstances, how it was registered for the first for the first person, and the second, when it comes for the second time after expiry of the 10 years, under what conditions it is done, whether it is expired or not. Taken it for granted that the GI registration is expired with the first one. Second one, now same thing for the second one. Under what conditions the first one made a GI registration, under second condition whether it can be made or not. There are lots of legal aspects associated to it. She has to explain me many things regarding this, and it will take maybe I don't know, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours it will take. There are lots of aspects related to it. Conditions, under what conditions?
So, Kunjalata Brahma, madam, you may personally drop an email to our speaker, sir. If that is fine, then you may get a detailed response regarding this.
I think so. From the answer given by Nirupal sir, I'm just clear that it will be different from case to case actually. So it is not very easy to answer in one set. Okay, so another question from Kunjalata Brahma ma'am. Are oral narratives a part of traditional knowledge? Are oral narratives a part of traditional knowledge?
Yes, it's a part of traditional knowledge. Oral narratives, that is part of the yore, part of that has been coming up. That will come as a folklore traditional knowledge. That is true. Oral narrative, yes, it can be, but that oral narrative may be a folklore of a story, of a song that is prevalent since centuries, generation to generations. Those links has to be established. Then it comes as a traditional knowledge. For that matter, under different condition, it can be indigenous knowledge as well.
A question from Arjit Kundu, and the question is directly to Harish sir. Harish sir, are you listening?
Yeah.
Okay, so directly question to you, sir. Can you please elaborate on the point that how revocation of patent gives protection to traditional knowledge?
See, when somebody is trying to also come in to obstruct your patent, then if their efforts to do that is revoked, then your patent is protected indirectly. Simple. It's like a possession of a property. If somebody is trying to interfere with your possession, you go take a temporary injunction, injuncting him from not interfering with your property. That's a protection. If I revoke somebody else trying to obtain patent on a similar thing, then you are already having patent for something. So or you are trying to get the prior user right registered through the patents law. Then you get protection if the other person's efforts are rejected. So you get protection. That's what it means.
Okay, sir.
If you are trying to interfere with me, if I get you injunction against you, then I am protected with my possession of the patent. That's it. That's all.
I think so, sir. He got the answer. He is giving a big thanks to you.
Yeah.
Okay. The question is that what are the benefits of getting geographical indication and who gets it and how? Hello. Dekha, sir?
Yeah.
Dekha sir, kindly unmute yourself.
Yes.
So we are not
Yes,
seeing you.
done. Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, your video
So we are
is
not
off,
seeing you.
sir.
What happened?
Your
Please
video is on, but we are not seeing you, sir.
Sir, your face is important. Your face is the index of your mind for the answer.
Yes, sir, you're visible right now.
Can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Can you see me?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah.
Okay. So shall I repeat the question?
Yes, yes, true. Yes, tell me.
What are the benefits of getting geographical indication and who gets it and how?
Geographical indications are mostly nowadays it is mostly claimed by the various governments. Governments try to do it on behalf of the people. Muga silk, no one's individually owns a Muga silk. So it will be basically the government will be the applicant for the geographical indications, geographical indication registration. No one is owner of Muga silk. It is the state who is the owner. So state will be the government will be the applicant for this.
But the recognition is like kind of a given to the entire community kind of a thing, no, sir?
Yes, 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 yes. True. True.
So, Dulumoni Boyso, madam, I think it is clear.
So another question is that is there any regional office in Assam or the entire Northeast so far for geographical indication or traditional knowledge or patent registration?
For patent and geographical indication, I can say yes. There is a patent registration office in it is on the bank of Digolipukuri. Digolipukuri in Guwahati. It is near to the High Court. It is near to the Cafe Coffee Day. Behind the Cafe Coffee Day, it is there. There is a regional office for the patent and geographical indication registration. But the traditional knowledge, we don't have a law to have an office. We can directly online go for the traditional knowledge registration with the WIPO. That is being, and I have been repeatedly saying that is being done in collaboration with Government of India. So we don't have any geographical indication registration. I'm not geographical, no, sorry, for the traditional knowledge registration.
Okay, sir.
But geographical indication registration and patent registration, yes, we have
an office. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, question directly to Harish sir again, sir. Is it Harish sir?
Yeah.
Is it possible two different geographical indication tags can be available for two different states for the same product, as Assam is famous for Bukakhat Pera, okay, famous for Bukakhat Pera, and Agra has already its GI tag for its pera?
I don't think so. Dekha sir should have to pitch in also. I don't think so. See, if for Karnataka you have like Moga silk, it's one tag entire in the entire region of India. Another state cannot again apply for a similar thing because they start doing the same type of handicraft in their thing. Chanpatna toys,
Yeah, true,
Mysore agarbatti. You cannot have different conflicting tags within the same region.
True, true.
But actually, she means to say like Agra also has Pedha, which is made
I
of.
know. So if,
Yeah,
if Agra Peta has already got it, then the other one cannot get it.
No, I mean, she means to say, I guess, like Mysore Pak is also like a peda.
No, it is not peda.
Okay.
I'll tell you one thing. See, Dharwad peda can still take.
Dharwad peda, yes.
Agra peta. See, Agra peda, it is not peda, it is peta.
Peta.
Dharwad peda is peda. It's doodh.
Yes.
Dharwad
Okay.
peda is a peda.
Yeah, Agra peta is not from not from a milk product. It is from a pumpkin.
Not pumpkin. Some other god, like a
ash god. Sorry, ash god, not pumpkin. Ash god. Ash god. Sorry, it's from ash god. Whereas the peda is from a milk byproduct made out of milk. Okay, doodh peda is there is a name called doodh peda. There is Dharwad peda. So they are different from this peta. This is Agra peta made out of ashgard. So Agra peta, if it is different from the other one, then they can still peta, they can still take, because peta and peta are two different things.
Okay, there is one participant, Kunjalata Brahma ma'am. I think so she want to share something. So I am just unmuting her, and you can unmute yourself, ma'am.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Sure,
ma'am,
sure,
we are
yes.
hearing you.
Oh no, this was not a question. I just wanted to share with everybody and of course with Ninolpal Deka sir that I along with my team had been a part of the GI presentation for a traditional brew in Kolkata last July. And we are almost in the final, you can say final part of our GI registration, and it should be coming very soon.
Okay. 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 That's congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, Nilutpal Deka sir, direct question to you.
I can see, yeah, I can see one question in Assam, which we call as
Yes,
Dakar
yes,
Bashan.
yes, sir.
Our TK or not? Yes, these are TK. These are TK. Though not
Legally protected. Sir, we are not hearing you. Sir, we are not hearing you. I think so. This answer can be given by Harish sir also. That sir, are matters of GI heard in different courts in India or in the civil courts?
Yeah, it can be heard. See, in Madras, in the original side, civil court, original side, a petition can be filed in High Court also. So it can be heard. Deka sir has got any other different view, then.
Yes, Deka sir.
Prasanjit, can you repeat the question? I did not hear it.
GI heard in different countries. Can GI be GI related case can be heard in different courts or in the civil courts?
Yes, Prasanjit, Prasanjit, can you repeat the question?
Yes, I am repeating it. Sir, are matters of geographical indication heard in different courts in India or in civil courts? That means he is actually asking this one. He is actually asking the jurisdiction regarding the subject matter of geographical indication.
Regarding jurisdiction, if it is registered in India and which part of, to which part of the country that GI registration belongs, it will be that way, and it will be heard in not in civil courts. It will be heard in the
Original High Court in original side.
yeah, patent office and the original side. Yes.
Okay, I think so. He got the answer, sir.
Yeah.
Another question from Dr. Himavati. Sir, do we have a centralized system of geographical indication? If so, where is the head office?
So Harish sir will take this question.
What is it, sir?
Prasanjit, Harish sir will take this question.
Sir,
Okay.
see, the government department is there for that. The central government department is there for this, sir. For this GI thing matters, you can go directly approach the central government department of trade and commerce in this.
Another question is that where is the head office regarding geographical indication registration?
It is again the patent office.
See, relevant jurisdictional patent officer will be the office where you go approach with your grievance.
Yeah.
If you want to litigate, then you go to the High Court with original side jurisdiction.
Yes. But regarding jurisdiction, it will be the patent office located in the same location in the
geographical area.
So just for clarification, I'd like to to add that for geographical indication as well as for patent, the office will be the same.
Same.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
For
Exactly.
trademarks, it is the
For
same.
trademark
office.
also the same.
See, registry of trademarks.
Hope so, sir. All the questions have been answered properly. No more questions. I'm not seeing any more questions. Thanks to both the resource persons present here. I
Thank you
don't
so
know if
much.
there is any question. If any question, you can raise your hand so that we can unmute you and you can directly put your question to our resource persons verbally. If anyone of you have any confusion or any question regarding traditional knowledge, geographical indication, and its relation with the constitution, please, anyone.
Yes. There is one question for Harish sir. Who will get the benefit of GI?
Everybody in that entire nation. That's all.
There
Beneficiaries,
is a state, yeah.
the state and the
Yes,
its
yes.
citizens
State
are the
will-
beneficiaries.
Yes, yes. And the
State
state
gets the benefit of the credibility tag for its trade and commerce.
Yes.
Individual purchaser gets
Yes.
the authenticity of the product. I buy
Yes.
Moga silk. I am happy that I brought a branded silk. I buy Mysore sandalwood or Mysore silk saree. I get the authenticity of guarantee of the product because it's having GI. And foreigners come and buy from here and go. That is their memorabilia when they go there to say that I bought a Moga silk or bought Darjeeling tea. Darjeeling tea was the first GI product in the country.
Yes. So benefit goes to the people of the country, people of the state, through
As
the
well as
state.
to the country. As well as to the country
Yes,
gets
yes.
the credibility of the tag of a product.
Yes.
The purchaser consumer gets the credibility of the and guarantee of the product, authenticity of the product.
True.
Sir, a question that okay, we have GI mark in the Muga silk. That is okay, but tomorrow someone does something misappropriate. They use some wrong marks to commit fraud on the people. Yes, sir. No, my question is yes, exactly, sir. But the question is that who can sue? It is the government of Assam. It is the people of Assam. It is the producer of that particular locality, or it may be any person who is a citizen of India.
Any person,
Affected party. Any
Yes,
affected party can
Yes.
urge their grievance before the appropriate forum.
So that means a person can Tamil Nadu can also file a suit.
See, if I buy a Tamil Nadu, if I buy a Mysore silk, and if I'm agreed by it, I still go because I went by the GI mark and the authenticity of the product, isn't it? And fraud was committed on me.
Yes, sir.
Deceptive similarity good was sold to me. Correct, no, sir? Dekha, sir?
Yes, any agreed person in a criminal court.
Sir, another question that whether Kumal Chawal of Assam qualifies for geographical indication.
Kumal sir, I don't have any idea about that.
No, sir, it's just
I'm not following the. Yeah.
Whether it qualifies as per the geographical indication now. Kumal Chawal.
I will not be the right person for that because for geographical indication, certain specifications are to be followed. Yeah. So, hello. Yeah. So
Yes,
the patent
sir.
office yeah. So the patent office will be the right office to decide whether Kumal Chawal of Assam can be the geographical indication or not. I'm not following whether the specification as prescribed by the patent office, like whether Kumal Chawal will be qualified or not. I don't know the scientific specifications of the Kumal Saul as well, and I have to see the where the place of origin Kumal Saul. I don't know, like that Kumal Saul can be produced in Burma or any other country. I don't know. I'm not following, so I'm not the right person to reply this.
Okay, sir. So basically, as per my knowledge, actually the rice that you require to prepare Kumal Chawal is very, very special, and it is produced only in Assam, and it also involves a bit of technology, and it also involves a bit of traditional knowledge. Actually, it's a combination of traditional knowledge. It's combination of place of origin of the particular raw material from which you can produce the Kumal Chawal. That is why my question came to my mind, and I have asked to you, sir. It was my personal question, sir.
So you see that it's a bit of traditional knowledge, B of geographical indication. That will complicate it more.
Yes, sir.
That will complicate it more. So
Okay.
like I have got you have told us your knowledge about it, but when applications are made, only then the specifications can be seen. And like if I say today that Kumal Chawla of Assam can be given the geographical indication registration, that means I'm deciding the registration. So I
Exactly.
don't want to take that privilege.
See,
Okay.
Prasanjit,
Yes,
regarding that
sir.
earlier question on going to action in courts,
Yes,
one
yes.
more thing. See, if a purchaser of a silk saree wants to go, is aggrieved by that GI indication thing and it was fraudulently sold to him and things, he need not even go to trademark registry. He need not even go to civil to the original side court. They can also go to consumer court. Deficiency, defectiveness in goods, deficiency of service, both are you can invoke even under the consumer protection law also.
Yes, sir.
Because as consumer, states may go to the other thing. This man can go to the nearest is the consumer forum.
Yes, sir. For deceiving the customers.
Yes.
So question is that whether writ can be filed for the protection of geographical indication. Whether writ can be filed for protection of geographical indication.
Geographical indication, now the question will come up whether that writ is whether that particular geographical indication is registered or unregistered, or it is both together. When we file a writ, whether it is both together, that will go for the protection of and geographical indication of a particular thing, or it is geographical indication together, all together. And I don't think at this stage we need any writ for the geographical indication, because already a system is there.
You can go up to passing off in courts under trademarks also.
True. Sir, I think that will confuse us more regarding the passing off and all. That will confuse us more.
But option is there.
I am taking a direct. Yes. I'm taking the direct question whether. Yes, true. That is true, sir. But I am taking the question like this: whether writ can be filed for protection of geographical indication. My answer would be no writ is required now, because already there is a system is there.
You have to exhaust all those
are not
channels if you want to go to court. You have to exhaust all these other levels of the ladder before you go to the higher court.
Sir, a question from Aninditya Day. It is not regarding geographical indication, but it is somehow connected to patent. I think so. This question will be more appropriate in the next day session where we will be dealing with patent. But still, as the question has been put, I am just forwarding it to the resource persons. If I put watermark on my original writing or design, is it some kind of patent? What will be the technical term for watermark?
Prasanjit, can you repeat the question again?
Yes, sir, definitely. The question is, if I put watermark on my original writing or design, is it some kind of patent? What will be the technical term for watermark?
Say the question is confusing when the word design comes up. When the word design comes up. Now, this is a patent or she wants to do it under the designs.
Designs Act.
So that again, yes. Again, we cannot reply directly that it is. We can go for the patents, or we cannot. We can go for the designs, because what she has done, that needs to be seen. I mean, through my eyes. Then the scientific specification.
Visible
Yes.
logo. Visible
So
logo. It should be a visible logo.
Yes, that has to be seen. This question cannot be answered like this.
Prasanjit, in this, you see, she should know that you have hallmark, you have silk mark for silk products. Okay, that logo visibility should be there.
Yes, yes.
Okay, then only you can
yes.
Get that.
Okay, sir. I hope she got the answer. It is very, very clear.
Mysore Agarbatti, the logo is being registered as part of the GI. So the logo is the most authentic one there.
Another question from Nitin Gahlot. Is it necessary that all works must be original in order to be protected under the Copyright Act 1957? And please explain sweat of the bro doctrine. Harish sir. Directly question to Harish sir.
What is it?
Is it necessary that all works must be original in order to be protected under the Copyright Act 1957? And please explain sweat of the bro doctrine. Harish sir.
No, see, once you write something that comes under copyright, you are the first creator of it. Original source. Okay. So by default, you get, I pen something tomorrow. If somebody else try to write that, I can claim that, see, I had already done this earlier. All these script writers, story writers, screenplay people for the movies, how do they claim copyright? Because they would have already penned this in a book, and that without their permission is now going to be made a movie and things like that. So original creator is the person who gets the benefit. It always is. So there's no dispute on that at all by any stretch of imagination. You see, in your under the water logo, watermark, you are asking, even your Moga silk is the logo which has got that GI indication also. Correct, no sir? Dekha sir?
Yes, yes, true. Yes, yes, true.
Yes, Duita ma'am. I think so. We have completed our question answer session. All the answers have been given by our honorable resource persons. So we have just come to the conclusion of this particular session.
Thank you so much, Prasanjit. Thank you so much, Harish sir and Preeta.
Thank you, Dekha sir. Nice to know you. Nice to interact with you. Thank you, Preeta. Thank you, Prasanjit. Thank you, all the participants. God bless you.
Sir.
Thank you.
I have the pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for today's session. So my heartfelt gratitude goes to Dr. Nilotpal Dekar, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable content. I hope this will enlighten our participants. And I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Harish, sir, for joining us and for cooperation for today's session. Thank you, sir. And I also convey my heartfelt thanks to the chairperson and deputy chairperson for this session. And also thanks to the participant for your patience and for your cooperation. So here I would like to extend my thanks to the Prasenjit for cooperating in question hour. So thank you all. With this, I end this session today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So we'll see tomorrow. We'll meet you all again.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.